The first concept we're going to talk about is the concept of higher order components. The name sounds kind of fancy, but the underlying concept is pretty simple. We use higher order components to reuse logic across components. Here's a real example. Imagine we have 3 components, and in all these components, we want to have some kind of tooltip behavior. So when we hover our mouse over this component, we should see a tooltip, and when we move away from it, the tooltip should disappear. Now, how are we going to implement this? Well, in this component, we need some kind of state, like a Boolean flag called showTooltip. Next, we should handle mouse events like mouse over and mouse out. In our event handlers, we need to change state. So we need to reset the value of our Boolean field, that is showTooltip. Also, somewhere in this component, we need to conditionally render our tooltip depending on the value of the showTooltip flag. Okay? Now, we have to repeat the same logic in these other components. And here's the problem. If there is a bug in our implementation, or if you want to change how our tooltips work, we have to change every single component we have implemented this logic in. We use higher order components to solve this problem. So let's imagine we have this component. This is a component that we want to add the tooltip functionality to. We create a new function and pass this component as an argument to this function. In this function, we're going to return a new component that wraps our original component. In this bigger component, we're going to implement all that common functionality, such as the functionality for showing a tooltip. As another example, imagine we have multiple components that are fetching data from the backend. Whenever we're fetching data, we want to show a loader icon. We can implement that common logic inside this wrapper component. And with this, we no longer have to repeat it across different components. That is the idea behind higher order components. Let me show you this in code.